This weekend saw 3 of the 4 Welsh regions in action for the first time in pre-season as the countdown to the Guinness Pro 14 began. There was an easy win for the Scarlets but defeat for the Ospreys and Dragons as plenty of new faces, including Gavin Henson, made their debuts. Here, our rugby writers pick out the winners and losers at this early stage. Scarlets v Premiership Select 15 winners. Paul Asquith. A Scarlets debut to remember for the former Aussie Sevens star on his 24th birthday. Playing at inside centre, Asquith dummied his way over for a fine individual try inside 2 minutes and added another couple in the second half as the PRO 12 champions romped to an 8,212 victory over a Premiership Select 15 at Llandovery. It's early days and the opposition will become far tougher, but Asquith, who can also play at fly half and full back, looks to have the skills that will slot seamlessly into the Scarlets' free-running game plan. Paul Asquith, who has joined the Scarlets, enjoyed a good afternoon. Tom Grabham, another of the Scarlets' newcomers to make an early impression. The former Ospreys wing was a lively presence throughout, touching down for one of his side's 12 tries at Churchbank. There's plenty of competition for a back 3 place at Park Y Scarlets this season, especially with Lee Halfpenny now on board, but Grabham looks determined to make his mark with the West Walians. Loses Premiership hopefuls. Those in the ranks of the Premiership Select 15 would have hoped to use this pre-season run-out as an opportunity to catch the eye of the regional coaches, but from the moment Asquith crossed inside 2 minutes it was clear this was going to be a one-sided affair. There were a couple of neat kicks from RGC fly-half Jacob Botica, while Carmarthen Quins wing Morgan Griffiths was a handful out wide, but for the most part this turned into an 80-minute defensive session for the semi-pro boys. Ospreys v Leicester Tigers winners. Paul James. He is 35 but every side benefits from a strong set piece and it was the veteran James who did more than anyone to oblige the Ospreys on that front. All those years of experience, including 11 at the Ospreys and 3 with Bath, have equipped the former Neath man with technical knowledge, allied to power, which he used expertly against Leicester. The former Wales prop several times put the squeeze on, sending the visitors backwards. Had the Ospreys played the dismal conditions more pragmatically, they would have won. But they played too much rugby and failed to make full use of Jam's good work. Ollie Cracknell of Ospreys Image Hugh Evans Picture Agency. Despite being part of Robert Howley's squad, Cracknell didn't see a single minute of action in the Six Nations. Nor did he tour with Wales in the summer. But he has plenty to offer with his game-like breaking power and Leicester Tigers felt the brunt of it at the Brewery Field. Playing at number 7, he set the tone by thumping lock Harry Wells back behind the gain line and he also tracked it forward any number of times, looking very much like a man on a mission. The Ospreys are going to need an open side for those times when Justin Tipuric is not available, so Cracknell's purposeful effort would have pleased Steve Tandy. Loses press and fans at the game at WASNT. The keenly contested match that was a problem last Friday evening. Nor was it the efforts of those charged with running the show at the Brewery Field. All were helpful from beginning to end. No, it was Leicester's idiosyncratic method of numbering that caused difficulties for those watching. Indeed, on a dreadful night when it seemed the game was being played in Calcutta during the rainy season, with relentless rain blowing across the pitch and affecting visibility, the visitors chose to operate without numbers on their shirts. It reached the point where the man on the tannoy said Leicester are sending on 2 players with no numbers on their shirts to replace, 2 players with no numbers on their shirts. Sorry I can't tell you who they are. Accepted, it was a pre-season friendly. But people still paid money to watch and it shouldn't have been too much for Leicester to help with the not unimportant matter of player identification. Dimitri Arhip, the Ospreys' Moldovan strongman, had been absent since last December with a dislocated shoulder and so would have been looking forward to returning. But at WASNT he picked up a chest infection last week which meant he couldn't feature against Leicester. Indeed, if he had featured in the wind and rain it could have caused him untold problems. Patience is a virtue and he just needs to bide his time for a week or 2 more before returning. As they say, good things come to those who wait. Dragons v Montpellier and Northampton. Loses Bernard Jackman. Wales' 2 most powerful regions, Guinness PRO 12 champions Scarlets and the Ospreys, would have found back-to-back fixtures with Montpellier and Northampton Saints daunting. So at WASNTU surprise the Welsh Rugby Union-owned Dragons didn't have the resources to challenge French top 14 heavyweights Montpellier, who fielded the likes of South Africa hooking great Bismarck du Plessis in a juggernaut pack, and English big guns just 18 hours later. Dragons had to split their squad and its lack of strength in depth was exposed when they went down by an aggregate score of 11,136, losing 4,015 in France and 7,121 in the East Midlands against George North Saints. And it won't get any easier for the Gwent region with a friendly at Aviva Premiership champions Exeter Chiefs on Saturday, another with Glasgow Warriors at Ebbw Vale the following Friday, and an opposed training session against Bath. Bernard Jackman image Hugh Evans picture agency. But new coach Bernard Jackman will have learnt much about his squad, its resolve and willingness to roll up its sleeves during the weekend fixtures and at last week's grueling training camp in France. Dragons were only 2,621 behind early in the second half at Northampton but shipped 50 points as they ran out of energy and the floodgates opened, with Saints having changed their entire team for the second half. Jackson said, "The good thing about this pre-season is that we are not kidding ourselves. We had a great week in France, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out that you would start your pre-season with Montpellier on a Friday night in France and Northampton away on the Saturday. That's what we inherited and we did our best to manage it. Thankfully we got through both games without any injuries, which is pretty much a miracle because we were up against two big, powerful, physical sides." Gavin Henson image Hugh Evans picture agency. The prodigal son made his debut for the Dragons, coming in the unlikely setting of Saint-Affrique, a village with a population of under 9,000, in rural France. Henson knocked over a penalty, but the Dragons didn't have the clout to deal with a Montpellier side laden with internationals and under a new coach and former Scotland boss Vern Cotter. But at least Wales injury-prone Twitch Essex Nations Grand Slam hero didn't reportedly pick up any knocks of note because his ability, experience and leadership is likely to be crucial for the Dragons as they look to improve under new owners the WRU. Veteran Henson's home bow is likely to be considerably more high-profile, whether it's against Guinness PRO14 rivals Glasgow Warriors in a friendly at Ebbw Vale a week on Friday afternoon or during their PRO14 opener against European Champions Cup semi-finalists Leinster at Newport's Rodney Parade on September 2.